Hello, everyone. This is Dr. B. Today is Tuesday, November 1st for fall of 2022 in Social Work 501. This is our week 3 check-in video. So a few things that I want to talk about regarding week 2's discussion posts. First of all, it looks, I read everybody's week 2 discussion on the checking in on the older adult interview. I provided some comments for everybody. So please go back and review my comments. The main thing that I want to make sure is that everyone has looked through the assignment guidelines. On the assignment page, you'll find the assignment guidelines, the template for the PowerPoint, that, you have to follow this template, as well as the rubric, because I think it's really important that before you meet with your interviewee, that you have created and drafted some good open-ended questions that that will capture the information that you need to put together your older adult video presentation. So please make sure to do that. The other thing for the genogram activity, I think everybody overall did a good job on their genograms. So for some of you, this was not a new experience. Some of you mentioned having done this in your current or your previous places of work. And so it's great to hear that some people have had some experience in creating genograms. And, so I think it's a really good activity to learn and, begin to start getting a little bit accustomed to creating a genogram. And, one of the important things about genograms that is to make sure that we capture the relationships between family members. Most genograms are 3 generations. For this particular discussion post, you were only asked to focus on 2 generations, but typically genograms have 3 generations that are represented. And one of the things that's important is to capture the family relationships. And that's where you have like the different, lines that indicate a strong relationship, a relationship full of conflict, and a strained relationship. There's a lot of different symbols that can be utilized to symbolize the different relationships that individuals might have. And I think that's really an area that I think what I saw is that most of the genograms needed some work in that. That's really, really important part of a genogram. It's the heart of a genogram because we want to see what relationships like are in families, and then look at patterns, right? So we see that we see that the individual whose name escapes me right now, but that the which is Jose, the patriarch of the family is Jose, and we see that he has conflict with one of his sons, Chucho, and then so there's conflict there. But Chucho and his mom, Maria, are very close due to their experiences and that bonding of trying to come back together from Mexico back to her family. So they have a strong relationship, even though the dad and Chucho do not have a strong relationship. And then Chucho has a very strong relationship to his little brother, Jimmy. And but then after Chucho dies, Jimmy starts having some difficulty, and we see then difficulties later on between him and his own son. So that those are patterns that we're seeing, right? The relationships between fathers and sons. And those are patterns that are important, that are depicted through these symbols, and then we pick them up. Um, and we can talk to uh, the families, the individuals that we're working with about these patterns. And there's different other things that can be part of genograms: use of substance abuse, mental health, other issues that the family has struggled with. um, but in addition to that, there's also opportunity to include strengths as part of a genogram, right? This was Maria was a very religious person, and so religion is something that is important that she passed on. One of her daughters is a nun, so those are other symbols that can be included, and then we can see patterns, right, of how faith has the faith has been woven and passed through the generations, and that is a source of strength. Spirituality is a source of strength, the community. There's a lot of different things that can be depicted in the genogram. And there are cultural genograms and there are spiritual genograms that, if one wants to delve more into, are also I teach a spirituality and social work elective, and we talk about spiritual genograms. So there's, so we don't have to do a spiritual genogram to include religious and or spiritual beliefs and practices and how they are transmitted through generations in a traditional genogram. So that is other things to take into consideration. So very good. Um, so in several of them, I made some comments, so go in and look and see. There are 2 discussion posts in week 3, and the first is the checking in your background with psychological theories. This is not a formal discussion, so you're not required to respond to your peers, but you are more than welcome to. But really what I'm asking you here is for you to reflect on what your background is in studying topics like ego functioning, defenses, object relationships, and Mahler's model. Have you had undergraduate or graduate courses or other trainings that have touched on these concepts and ideas? And what did you learn in those courses? And once again, this is not a formal discussion. All right. The second discussion for week 3 is the Sanchez family, which is a textbook example. And you're going to utilize the Sanchez family from the Rogers textbook. And it really draws on readings from that were part of week 2's readings on systems theory and family systems, as well as a genogram activity. And then in addition, you want to consider how week 3's readings, this week's readings and videos on traditional theories on psychological and psychosocial person, those theories that deal with psychological and psychosocial theories, play a role in the Sanchez family. So you'll come over here to the interactive Sanchez family case. When you click on that, it'll take you to the website, and you're going to choose one member of the Sanchez family to focus. There's several members, some adults, some children. Explore that individual family members' client history, client concerns, and goals for the client by clicking on their pictures to open their case files. So when you go into the family case, you're going to see the pictures of a grandmother, grandfather, their kids, grandkids, that sort of thing. There's also an ecomap and genogram for the Sanchez family, so make sure that you review those. And what you're going to do is complete the exercises on pages 108 and 109 in the textbook. Applying theories to the Sanchez family member you've chosen. Remember, you're only supposed to choose one family member. First, make sure that you look at their client history. Once you pick the person, then go and look into their client history, client concerns, and goals for client, as well as the ecomap and genogram, and then answer the questions on pages 108 and 109. Okay. Your initial response is going to be answering these questions. So you're to follow up with at least one classmate, preferably one that does not yet have responses. And in your response, describe what you have learned from your peer and what you can add to your peer's learning regarding systems theory. Your initial post is due Thursday, and your follow-up response is due between Friday and Sunday. Okay. And last but not least, there is a week 3 concept quiz. Regarding week 2 concept quizzes, I am in the process of grading them, so grades should be popping up in the next few days. So for week 3 concept quiz, you want to answer the following 2 questions. What is operant conditioning, and describe 2 ways it is used in social work today? That's question number 1. It has 2 parts. Number 2, describe Piaget's cognitive adaptation process, which is how we learn new things by using an example to demonstrate aspects of cognitive adaptation process. Make sure to include the different concepts that are discussed in your readings about cognitive adaptation process, so make sure that your responses reflect your own work, and you should not consult with your peers on your answers. Make sure to use APA and always include in-text citations as well as a reference page. Each question must be answered with between 750 and 1,000 words, and that is per question. That is not the total word count for the entire quiz. Okay, so all right, so that is all for now. The other thing is, please go make sure if you did not receive, I just thought about that, if you did not receive a grade for, if you did not receive a grade for your week 2 discussion on genogram activity, that is because I was not able to open you either did not include, or I was not able to open your genogram example. So please go look at my comments regarding that. All right, talk to you soon.